Health and Safety Mentors. You may have heard of them. They were created by CUPE Ontario's Health and Safety Committee. Their mission, their vision, was to promote activism and awareness on health and safety matters that affect CUPE members. Basically, they wanted to start the conversation about safety in the workplace. Today I'd like to speak about a success story, a story that we owe a great deal of thanks to CUPE Local 5678, for they shared their story. You see, they had suffered a tragic loss, had taken their lives. There were a lot of questions. There were a lot of unanswered questions about what happened on that day. But the most persistent question that they faced was perhaps, what could they do from ever happening again? Together, with the assistance of the Ontario Health and Safety Mentors, we gathered a group of experts that could help us demystify talk about mental health, talk about the stigmas, and more importantly, talk about some of the things that we could do and some of the tools that were available to us. Our mentors swung into action, and sponsored by 5678, we put together a 3-day think tank. We looked at strategic planning. What could we do around mental health in the workplace? You see, we quickly realized that a lot of CUPE problem. We were really unsure a lot of times what to do about mental health and mental illness when we were faced with it in our everyday work lives. Together, our experts brought to us a lot of very valuable. We talked about stigmas, we talked about mental illness, we talked about mental health, but more importantly, we talked about the tools we could use as safety activists in looking at things like the mental injury toolbox, looking at mental health first aid kit, and looking at some techniques like knowledge-based safety to take on the problem and make mental health a priority at our health and safety committees. Remiss if we didn't take time to thank the participants who actively participated, but they too were inspired by the topic and went above and beyond in sharing their personal experiences, in sharing their work experiences, in talking about what help was available out there to CUPE members. But most importantly, the discussion came about the stigmas associated with mental illness and mental health in the workplace. You see, we learned quickly it was a very difficult conversation to have, but it was one that, with the help of the CUPE Local and our Ontario mentors, we had. We're excited to bring you this first think tank into mental health. But we know through our efforts of both our participants and our Ontario mentors that this is just the first step in strategic planning. This is just the first think tank that we're going to have when it comes to mental illness in the workplace. So I'd like to thank all those that helped, all those that participated in building this strategic plan. And I join them in fighting that conversation on mental health.